the English you need to work, communicate, and grow.
Hello, welcome to the 20 Minutes English for Work podcast.
My name is Tom.
And my name is Liz.
This podcast is for you who feel nervous, insecure, or blocked when you need to speak English at work.
Maybe you know the words, but when it's time to explain your job role, everything disappears.
Or maybe you're afraid of making mistakes and sounding unprofessional.
Here's the good news. You don't need perfect English to communicate well at work.
You need simple, clear, and real English, the kind people actually use every day.
In this episode, you'll listen to a realistic work conversation about talking about your job role.
After the dialogue, we'll explain everything step by step, slowly and clearly.
So don't worry if you don't understand everything at first. That's normal.
Subscribe to the channel to practice real work situations every day.
And tell us in the comments where you are from. We love reading your messages.
Now take a deep breath, relax, and let's begin.
Good morning, Emily. How are you today?
Good morning, Michael. I'm doing well, thank you. And you?
I'm good too. A bit busy, but everything is under control. Keep going, right?
Exactly. Keep going. That's how work life is. Busy but manageable.
Yes, and you're doing great, by the way. I wanted to talk to you about something important today.
Sure, no problem. What's on your mind?
Well, we have a new team member starting next week, and I realized that sometimes people are not very clear when they talk about their job role. I thought it would be good for us to review how we explain what we do.
That makes sense. I've noticed that too. Sometimes I struggle to explain my role in a simple way, especially in English.
You're not alone. Many people feel the same. You can do this, and it gets easier with practice.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So, how do you usually explain your job role?
I usually start simple. I say, I'm a project coordinator, and I help organize tasks, timelines, and communication between teams.
That sounds clear. You don't use very complex words.
Exactly. Simple is better, especially at work. People want to understand you quickly.
That's true. When someone asks me, "What do you do?" I sometimes say, "I work in operations." But then they ask more questions.
Right. I work in operations is a good start, but you can add one more sentence.
Like what?
For example, I work in operations, and I analyze daily processes to help the team work more efficiently.
Oh, I like that. It sounds professional but not complicated.
That's the goal. Clear and professional. Study English every day, and these sentences will feel natural.
I try to practice every day, even if it's just a little.
That's perfect. Little by little, you learn something new.
Can I ask you something?
Sure, go ahead.
Sometimes people ask me, "What are your main responsibilities?" And I get nervous.
That's a very common question. When they ask that, you can think about your daily tasks.
So I don't need to explain everything?
No, not everything. Just the main points. For example, you could say, my main responsibilities include reviewing reports, supporting the operations team, and improving workflows.
That sounds doable. Reviewing reports, supporting the team, improving workflows.
Exactly. And if you're not sure how detailed you should be, you can always ask, would you like more details?
That's a good idea. It gives me time to think.
Yes, and it shows professionalism. Asking questions is not a problem.
Sometimes I worry that asking questions makes me look unprepared.
Not at all. In most workplaces, asking questions shows that you care.
That's good to hear.
That's good to hear. Let me ask you something now. How would you explain your role to someone from another department?
Okay, let me try. I'm an operations analyst. I focus on daily processes, analyze data, and help improve how the team works.
That's very good. Clear and confident.
Really?
Yes, really. You sound professional and organized.
Thank you. That gives me more confidence.
Confidence comes with practice. You can do this.
What about when someone asks, "Who do you report to?"
That's a good question. You can say, I report to the operations manager, or I report directly to the head of operations.
Simple and clear.
Always. And if you're not sure, you can say, let me check, or I'll get back to you.
I use "let me check" a lot.
That's a very useful phrase. Native speakers use it all the time.
Another question. Sometimes people ask, "Are you responsible for this task?"
Yes, and that's where clarity is very important.
What should I say if I'm only partially responsible?
You can say, I'm partly responsible for this task, or I support this task, but the final decision is made by another team.
That helps avoid confusion.
Exactly. Clear communication saves time.
What if I don't know the answer?
Then honesty is best. You can say, I'm not sure at the moment, but I'll find out and get back to you.
I like that. It sounds professional.
It is professional. No one expects you to know everything.
That's comforting.
Let's talk about meetings. How do you usually introduce yourself in a meeting?
I usually say, "Hi, I'm Emily from operations."
That's good. You can also add your role. For example, I'm Emily, an operations analyst, and I work on process improvement.
That gives more context.
Yes, especially when there are many people in the meeting.
Sometimes meetings move very fast, and I don't understand everything.
That happens to everyone. You can say, sorry, could you repeat that? Or can you explain that again?
I'm always afraid to interrupt.
It's okay to interrupt politely. It's better to ask than to misunderstand.
You're right. Misunderstandings can cause problems later.
Exactly. Communication is key at work.
What about deadlines? People often ask, "Can you finish this by Friday?"
If you're not sure, don't say yes immediately. You can say, let me check my schedule, or I'll need to confirm the timeline.
That gives me time to think.
Yes, and it shows responsibility.
And if I can't meet the deadline?
Then be honest. You can say, I won't be able to finish this by Friday, but I can have it ready by Monday.
That's better than missing the deadline.
Always. People appreciate transparency.
I feel like this conversation is really helping me.
I'm glad to hear that. You're doing great.
Thank you. I feel more confident talking about my job role now.
That's the goal. Remember, you don't need perfect English.
Just clear English.
Exactly. Clear, simple, and professional.
I'll practice these phrases.
Great idea. Practice makes progress.
Thank you for your time, Michael.
Anytime, Emily. If you need help, just let me know.
I will. Have a great day.
You too. Keep learning and keep going.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Now that you've listened to the dialogue, don't worry if you didn't understand everything the first time.
That's completely normal. Remember, you don't need to understand every single word to learn English for work.
In this part, we're going to review useful sentences from the dialogue, explain important vocabulary, and talk about cultural tips from the work environment.
So relax, take a deep breath, and let's learn together. You're doing great, and you can do this. Sentence 1. I help organize tasks, timelines, and communication between teams.
This sentence is very useful when you want to explain your job role clearly. The key idea here is simplicity. You are not saying everything you do, only the main parts of your role. At work, this helps people understand you quickly. For example, if someone asks you, "What do you do?" you can use this structure, I help plus verb. It sounds natural and professional.
Another way to say this is, my role is to support tasks and coordination between teams. You don't need to use the same words every time. The important thing is to explain your role in a clear way. You can also say, I work with different teams to keep projects organized. Sentence 2. I work in operations and I analyze daily processes to help the team work more efficiently.
This sentence shows how to add detail without being too complex. First, you say where you work. I work in operations. Then you explain what you do. This structure is very common in professional English. You can use it in meetings, introductions, or even job interviews.
You could also say, I focus on daily processes and look for ways to improve efficiency. This is useful because sometimes you want to sound more direct. Both versions are correct, and both sound professional. Sentence 3. My main responsibilities include reviewing reports, supporting the team, and improving workflows.
This sentence is great when someone asks about responsibilities. The word include is very helpful because it shows that these are examples, not everything. This reduces pressure and makes your answer more flexible.
You can also say, I'm mainly responsible for reports, team support, and process improvement. This version is a bit shorter, which is useful when meetings move fast. Sentence 4. Would you like more details?
This is a very polite and professional question. It gives control to the other person and gives you time to think. It's perfect when you're not sure how much information to share.
Another option is, do you want me to explain more? Both sound natural, and native speakers use them often at work.
Sentence 5. I report to the operations manager. This sentence is very direct and clear. Reporting lines are important in the workplace, and this sentence avoids confusion.
You can also say, I work under the operations manager, or I report directly to the operations manager. Small changes, same meaning.
Sentence 6. I'm partly responsible for this task. This sentence is very useful when you want to be honest about your responsibilities. It shows clarity and teamwork.
Another way to say this is, I support this task, but I'm not the final decision maker. This helps avoid misunderstandings.
Sentence 7. Let me check. This is one of the most common work phrases in English. It's short, polite, and professional. You can use it when you need time.
You can also say, I'll look into it, or I'll get back to you. These phrases are very powerful at work.
Sentence 8. Sorry, could you repeat that? This sentence shows professionalism, not weakness. Asking for repetition is better than making mistakes later.
You can also say, can you say that again? Or could you explain that again? All are very common.
Sentence 9. I'll need to confirm the timeline. This sentence is perfect when talking about deadlines. It shows responsibility and planning.
Another option is, I need to check my schedule first. This is very natural in work conversations.
Now let's focus on some key vocabulary from the dialogue. These are very common words in the work environment, and understanding them will help you feel more confident when talking about your job role.
Yes, these words are practical. You can use them in meetings, emails, and daily conversations at work.
Let's start with the word responsibility.
Responsibility means something you are expected to take care of at work. It's about what is officially part of your role. For example, you can say, one of my responsibilities is reviewing reports. This sounds clear and professional.
And it's important to know that responsibility doesn't always mean working alone. Sometimes you share responsibilities with other people. The opposite idea can be support, when you help with a task, but you are not fully in charge. The next word is deadline.
A deadline is the date or time when a task must be finished. Deadlines are very important in professional culture. For example, the deadline for this project is Friday.
When you talk about deadlines, clarity is key. If you can't meet a deadline, it's better to communicate early. The opposite idea of a strict deadline is flexibility, when dates can change. Now let's talk about workflow.
Workflow means the way work moves from start to finish. It's about steps, processes, and order. In many jobs, people talk about improving workflows to save time and reduce mistakes. For example, you might hear, we need to improve our workflow to be more efficient. This word is very common in offices and corporate environments.
Another important word is report.
A report is a document that shows information, data, or results. Many professionals work with reports daily or weekly. You can say things like, I review weekly reports, or I prepare monthly reports for the team. This is very common language at work.
Let's move to the word schedule.
Your schedule is your plan for the day, week, or even month. At work, people often talk about schedules when planning meetings or tasks. For example, my schedule is full today, or let me check my schedule. These phrases sound very natural and professional.
Now an important one, efficiency.
Efficiency means doing work in a smart way, without wasting time or energy. Companies value efficiency a lot. You might hear, this process improves efficiency, or we need to work more efficiently. The opposite of efficiency is inefficiency, when work takes longer than it should.
Let's talk about coordination. Coordination means organizing people, tasks, and communication so everything works well together.
For example, my role involves coordination between different teams. This word is very common when talking about teamwork.
And finally, the word manageable, which you heard in the dialogue. Manageable means something is not too difficult and can be handled without too much stress.
For example, my workload is busy, but manageable. This is a very natural word to use when talking about work pressure. The opposite idea would be overwhelming, when work feels too heavy.
Now let's talk about culture at work. This is very important, especially when using English in professional environments.
Yes, because language is not only about words, it's also about behavior.
First, meetings. In many workplaces, meetings are structured and time-focused. People appreciate clear and short answers.
That's why phrases like, let me check, or I'll get back to you are so useful. They save time and keep the meeting moving.
Deadlines are another big topic. In many cultures, missing a deadline without explanation is seen as unprofessional.
But communication can solve many problems. If you explain early that you need more time, people usually understand.
Tone of voice is also very important. At work, English often sounds polite and calm, even when people disagree.
Yes, instead of saying, this is wrong, people say, I see it a bit differently, or can we review this?
Feedback is another area where culture matters. Feedback is often direct but respectful.
And remember, asking questions is encouraged. It shows engagement and responsibility.
Formality can change depending on the company. Some workplaces are very formal, others more relaxed.
That's why listening is important. Pay attention to how others speak and adjust your language.
And finally, confidence. You don't need perfect English to be confident.
Clear communication is more important than perfect grammar.
Keep practicing, keep learning, and don't be afraid to speak.
You're doing great. Study English every day, even a little.
Now that you understand the dialogue and the vocabulary, let's practice with some model sentences you can really use at work.
These examples are practical and simple. You can use them in meetings, introductions, emails, or daily conversations with colleagues.
Let's start with full versions, the ones you can use when you feel more confident.
Then we'll share shorter versions, perfect for moments when you feel nervous or need to answer quickly.
I work as a project coordinator, and I help organize tasks and timelines. This sentence is great when someone asks about your role in a meeting or during introductions.
A shorter version would be, I coordinate tasks and timelines.
I work in operations, and I focus on improving daily processes. This sounds professional and clear, especially when talking to people from other departments.
The short version can be, I improve daily processes.
My main responsibilities include reviewing reports and supporting the team. This is very useful when someone asks what you are responsible for.
A shorter version could be, I review reports and support the team.
I'm partly responsible for this task, but I work closely with another team. This sentence helps avoid confusion about responsibilities.
A short version is, I support this task.
I'll need to check my schedule before confirming the deadline. This is perfect when you need time to think.
The short version is very common. Let me check.
I'm not sure right now, but I'll get back to you. This shows professionalism and honesty.
A shorter version is, I'll get back to you.
Now we really encourage you to listen to the dialogue again.
Yes, listen one more time. You'll notice that many sentences feel easier now.
That's progress. Keep going, study English every day, and trust the process. We're almost at the end of today's episode.
Today, you learned how to talk about your job role in a clear and professional way.
You practiced how to explain what you do, your responsibilities, deadlines, and teamwork.
These are real phrases you can use tomorrow at work.
Remember, confidence comes from practice, not perfection.
Use simple sentences. Be clear. Ask questions when needed.
Now tell us in the comments, what is your job role and where do you work?
Do you usually feel confident talking about your job in English, or do you feel nervous?
Keep studying, even if it's just a few minutes a day.
You're doing great. You can do this.
Don't forget to subscribe, share this episode with a colleague, and keep listening.
Thank you for being here with us.
See you in the next episode.
Bye for now, and keep going.